Hey, Bowtie Nation, Joseph Hogue here. Thank you for joining us for another Tuesday, Thursday news update. And what an update. Here we see shares of AMC Entertainment, ticker AMC, down to 6%, was down as much as 8% in early market trading. As I'm recording this, it was down 36% yesterday on the news that the company would go into the market, sell 40 million shares into the market. It was one of the catalysts I highlighted last week, a catalyst we knew was coming. We knew the company was going to issue these new shares. We knew it would hit the stock. And I believe it's going to be one of the catalysts that sends this stock higher. And nobody can call an exact bottom in this stock. The shares seem to go nowhere but down. But I just bought $39,000 in shares yesterday and today. I believe this next 2 months is going to be huge for the stock. You're going to see the shorts running for mercy. And I'm going to explain why that is and the catalyst in this video. Before that, if you want to keep up with all the stock market news and trends, I want to personally invite you to get the weekly bow tie, our weekly newsletter before the market opens each week. I'll give you the stocks to watch, the economic data to guide the markets, and the stock market news you need to know. It's all totally free, just something I like to do for all you out there in the community. So look for the sign up link in the description below. Yesterday's big drop was on that announcement that the company would sell 40 million shares into the open market. At some point over the next couple of months, it is going to go into the open market. It is going to sell 40 million shares to investors out there in the market. It is going to collect that money, and that money is going to be used to pay down debt. Okay, the company still owes about $9.5 billion in debt. It is the big overhang in this stock, that existential fear that the company is going to go bankrupt. With these 40 million shares and actually about 390 million shares that the company has available to sell out into the public, it is going to clear up that problem. And we're going to see some very strong catalysts to the upside over the next 2 months. In fact, there are 2 dates that you need to be watching for shares of AMC that could send this stock rocketing higher. We saw last week the Wedbush upgraded its price target up to $19 per share for AMC. I think it gets there over the next couple of months. AMC is expected to take a 22% share of the US box office. I still believe that can go even higher as some of the smaller theater chains really struggle and stumble into this post-pandemic reality of theater and that competition with streaming. I believe AMC is the strongest bet in cinema, and I believe these two catalysts that we have coming up over the next couple of months is really going to make the shorts scream for mercy, head for the exits. It's going to drive this stock higher. There are several catalysts that could send the stock higher. I'm going to talk about the big two in a little bit, but one could be just an end or any movement on the Hollywood strike. These strikes by the Writers Guild and the Actors Guild are now approaching the longest strikes ever. Both sides want to see an end to these. They're going to weigh on cinemas, on production companies, on studios into the next year. These could get resolved over the next couple of months. That alone could give the stock the positive momentum it needs to start squeezing out some of these shorts. That combined with some of these other catalysts that I'm going to talk about, more than 17 million shares are borrowed and sold short. 32% of the float right now. Those investors, those hedge funds that are shorting the stock, they will have to go back into the market, buy back these stocks to close up their short position ahead of what could be a very good 2 months, what could be some very good price action and losses for these short sellers. One of the catalysts I talked about in last week's video was this share issue. Okay, we knew this was coming. We knew that the company was able to issue up to 390, like 360, 390 million new shares because of the conversion that they had with the preferred shares, as well as the reverse stock split. We knew this was coming. We knew that they had to issue these shares. Okay, it has over $9.5 billion in debt. Now the maturities are quite a ways out. I think it has about $98 million in debt maturities that it needs to refinance or pay off here in 2024. And then about $1.5 billion there in 2025. So the maturities are stretched out in a way that the bankruptcy is really not on the table for the stock. And now that they have this ability to issue those new shares, bring in funds, and pay off even that nearer term debt, that existential threat of bankruptcy is off the table. I believe that's going to clear up a lot of the problems, a lot of the fears about this stock. But the two biggest catalysts for this stock and the two dates that AMC investors need to be watching, the two dates that could be huge for shares of AMC are October 13th and November 6th. Okay, October 13th, that is the date that the Taylor Swift Eras concert starts in AMC theaters. I'll be talking about that. That is going to be huge. November 6th is when they report the third quarter earnings. Now, I believe that a lot of the potential upside for the stock could actually come before those days. Okay, investors are going to get word on the ticket sales for the Taylor Swift concert. That's going to start scaring some of those short sellers. They're going to start closing their positions, driving this price up. So I wouldn't wait until those dates to start adding to your position. You can see I already added another $14,000 to my position today. I had started the position yesterday up to $39,000 total in this stock. First up on October 13th, that Taylor Swift Eras concert replay starts in AMC theaters. That is going to be huge. The tour itself is on track to break $2.2 billion in North American sales alone, even propping up local economies along the way. That concert replay again is going to start on October 13th. The company has already reported ticket sales earlier this month, sold 26 million in advanced ticket sales just on the first day. That was a record for the company, a one-day record, beating even Spider-Man No Way Home, which brought in 16.9 million. So it gives you an idea of how big the ticket sales could be for this Eras concert. Okay, do not underestimate Taylor Swift and the Swifties. A lot of them are going to be going back there. Tickets are $20 for this concert replay versus $50 to $500 for the concert tickets. So you've got a lot of people that couldn't afford to go to the concerts. They're going to buy their tickets to go to the concert, to go to this replay at AMC theaters. You've got a lot of those Swifties that went to the concerts and are going to want to relive that for just $20 in AMC. So again, as we build up to that October 13th release date of the Eras concert there in AMC theaters, think you're going to start hearing about the momentum, the enthusiasm for these showings, not only from AMC, but also from the Swifties. Going to make an event of these, like a mini concert, each one. I think you're going to hear about those advanced ticket sales really building up. A lot of short sellers are going to close out their positions, not want to be in front of that locomotive that is Taylor Swift. And you're going to start seeing some real support for the stock. On top of that, we have the November 6th release date for third quarter earnings. That is going to be crucial because we're going to see not only the third quarter earnings, but also an outlook for the fourth quarter that is going to include those Taylor Swift ticket sales. Here we are on the analysis tab on Yahoo Finance, shows you the current quarter estimates for for the third quarter earnings and sales, as well as 2023 full year sales and earnings expectations. Now, what I'm saying here is that third quarter, first, I think they're going to surprise on the upside just on ticket sales for the Barbie and Oppenheimer movie. That huge Barbenheimer event that we had just over the last couple of months broke records in ticket sales. I think you're going to see a beat on sales and even earnings for due to those movies. But it's also by that time, by November 6th, it's going to have a pretty good idea of what the ticket sales for that Taylor Swift Eras concert are going to be. It's going to update its fourth quarter earnings, sales and earnings expectations. And I think it's going to be a big beat on top of what investors are expecting. Here we can see right now for the third quarter, investors were expecting about 1.16 billion in sales for shares of AMC, for AMC Entertainment. That would be 21% above last year's third quarter earnings. I think they're going to beat that. I think they do at least $1.2 billion in sales for the third quarter. Here we see over on the right, the current year 2023 expectations for sales, about 4.66 billion. That would be 19% above above last year's sales. We also see 1.16 billion here in the middle, 1.16 billion dollars sales estimates for the fourth quarter. That is going to be way under. I think again here in the fourth quarter they are going to do at least 1.5 billion dollars in sales just off of this Taylor Swift news. The next two catalysts, the upside to the Taylor Swift concert ticket sales coming in early October through October, and then the November 6th third quarter earnings where they release the ticket sales for Barbenheimer, as well as give us an update on fourth quarter. The short sellers are not going to want to be in front of this. A lot of short sales. I guarantee you there's 17 million shares borrowed and sold short in the market, 32% of the float. Those short sellers are now looking at this fact that the bad news isn't for the stock. They've got those catalysts, upside catalysts, just over the next 2 months, and they're going to choose to sit it out. The short sellers have made a lot of money over the past couple of months, over the past couple of days, in fact. They're going to look at that. They're going to want to take their profits instead of getting in front of what could be a very good 2 months for shares of AMC. That's why I bought $39,000 worth of shares. I believe we see at least 13, 14, maybe even $15 per share over the next couple of months. Look for that link below and get the weekly bow tie free every week before the market opens. All the stock market trends, stocks to watch, and economic news you need to see. Or click on the video to the right for the new Tesla ETF that could win whether Tesla shares go up or down. Don't forget to join the Let's Talk Money community by tapping that subscribe button and clicking the bell notification.